Hello everyone, it's me Arden Lee. I am back today with another video, and today's video is going to be about how to break through your scarcity mindsets. If you are afraid of having not enough money in your life, not enough friendships, not enough within your love relationships, not enough fulfillment, what are the hacks that you can do to start bringing greater awareness to your overall patterns and choices, so you can start bringing in more of that abundance, that sustainability, that fulfillment. So before I get into that, of course, as always, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. And if you're not yet familiar with me and my work, my name is Arden Lee, and I am the creator of the Repatterning Project, which is an 8-week course where we examine our beliefs, we hack through all of our self-imposed limitations, and we backwards engineer and rewire all of the conditioning that we've taken on throughout our lifetimes so that we can remove any of the obstacles that are on our way to our path to success, happiness, and fulfillment. So if that sounds like your jam, go ahead and check out the description box where I have left a link to a free PDF guide to the Repatterning Project so you can see a little bit more about what we do as a course. And I also have a link there to the Facebook group that I moderate called the Repatterning Parlor, so that if you're looking for support on your journey, if you're looking for like-minded peers who have the same goals as you do of improving your lives and moving forward on your goals, you're going to want that social support there. So go ahead and check out that group as well and come say hi. I would love to see you there, and let me know how you found it. If you found it from the YouTube channel or from the Facebook videos, let me know. I would love to hear from you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about scarcity. Scarcity mindsets are mindsets that are focused on all of the ways that things are not possible to happen, about lack of resources, about I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I don't have enough love in my life, I don't have enough friends. And I'm very familiar with scarcity mentality because I certainly was in that for a great portion of my life. I was so accustomed to things like loss and abandonment, whether it was in relationships or whether it was money trauma. I lost large sums of money at in shockingly fast amounts of time when I was in my 20s, due to emergencies, crises, whether it was medical emergencies or friends stealing from me, being feeling under duress to financially support partners that I didn't want to be abandoned by, right? So you can even see there where my scarcity, I had intersecting scarcity. I had not only did I have scarcity around my relationships because I was afraid of abandonment, I was afraid of losing people, but then I also felt the need to support them financially because if I was afraid that if they weren't able to sustain themselves, then they wouldn't want to be with me either. I don't know why that made sense to me in my head, but but I went through a lot of that. So I certainly understand where that mindset comes from. Now, the first thing that most people are going to tell you about combating scarcity mindsets is to practice gratitude. And if you're anything like I was back then, that probably pissed you off a lot because it sounds like, if you guys have seen some of my other videos on this channel about my feelings about gratitude and the way that society has really, has in so many cases ruined this powerful practice for us by framing gratitude as something that we are obligated to do, framing it as a morality issue, framing it as being oppositional to greed, right? You don't want to be greedy, you want to be grateful, and certainly so much of our culture ingrains so much of this gratitude, like this negative gratitude patterning in parenting. We grow up and we're supposed to eat the food that's on our plate in front of us that we don't really want, that we're maybe not hungry for anymore. We're supposed to force ourselves to go through an experience of eating that our bodies aren't actually asking for, don't actually want, because we're supposed to be grateful for what we have because there's starving children in other third world countries, right? So it's like, be grateful for what you have, ends up getting patterned within us, for so many of us within our childhoods, as being imbued with this guilt, right? This sense of that we have things and we should be grateful for them, so therefore we shouldn't want another experience, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that if that is the way that gratitude has been has been anchored to your experience in your life, or if that's the way that it's been sold to you by your culture, by your peers, by your parents, there is a way out of that. I do not whatsoever promote or endorse that kind of thinking about gratitude. So let me tell you how, first of all, concentrating on what you do have is going to help you actually get out of your scarcity mindset without all of that guilt and without all that kind of that energy of like, well, just shut up and live with what you have, kind of thing, because you do want more. You're watching this video because you want to bring in more abundance. You want to bring in more happiness, more money, more success. And I want you to do that too. So here's how the mechanics of gratitude and noticing what you actually have already works, right? We talk a lot about the law of attraction essentially being, Virgil is hanging out behind me. If you guys haven't met Virgil, he's my assistant. He likes to hang out during some of my videos. So we talk a lot on this channel in these videos about the law of attraction and how the law of attraction is at its best when it actually works, right? There's a lot of stuff out there about the law of attraction that tries to make you believe that like just by thinking magical thoughts about something that it will like magically appear in your life, and every once in a while that works, but I wouldn't use that as the basis, as the foundational basis for any kind of serious practice regarding the law of attraction. The way that the law of attraction actually works is it's about backwards engineering to hack your confirmation bias, right? So your confirmation bias essentially is we take in so much information around us in the world that it's not possible for us to store and process it all unless we have like one of those remarkable, amazing, neurodiverse brains that's like, oh yeah, May 13th, 1993 was a Tuesday or whatever. But most of us aren't like that. And so in order to organize and catalog our memories in a way that makes the world make sense to us, we tend to look for things that are examples of things that we already believe. Because if it already reinforces our worldview, then we have to do less reshuffling, right? So what that means is that over time, we focus on the things that are familiar to us. Now, if we're stuck in a scarcity mindset, this means that we could actually have a lot of money, but we're looking for more evidence unconsciously. We're looking for more evidence that we're actually in danger, that we're in danger of losing things, that we don't have enough. The weird thing for me is that there were times in my 20s where I actually had more money than I have currently, but I was more stressed out about losing it because I was under this belief that I could just lose it at any time, which to be fair was true at that time because I didn't have proper boundaries in place to know how to hang on to what was mine, and I kept leaking out, in all of these crises and thefts and relationships with people where I established poor boundaries. So ironically, I actually feel far more abundant now because I better believe, I have a better set of beliefs and understanding of how I can actually make more money, right? I have an understanding of my value and my ability to produce income whenever I need it. So basically, by focusing on the things that confirm our worldview, we receive more and more evidence for the thing that we already believe. So essentially, the mechanics of focusing on the things that you already have means that by focusing, by having your confirmation bias be geared toward looking at the things that you have already, it helps you to feel into that energy of things being sufficient, of things being enough. And then there is more and more that you notice everywhere around you that is possible for you to have, right? Because if your confirmation bias cherry picks the evidence in all the information around the world, in the world around you that you're taking in, then you start to unconsciously look for more and more evidence of things that, what you have, what you could have in the future, more opportunities that will pop up for you, more things that are in your field that you can take advantage of. So much of my own scarcity mindset meant that there were opportunities that were presented to me back then but I saw the risk of taking them more than the reward. Like, oh, well, I don't know about that. That seems like it would be scary. I don't know if that would work out. I don't know if I want to get into that relationship because what if they just betray me later on? I don't know if I want to get into that friendship because what if they betray me later on? I don't know if I wanted to get into this business partnership because what if I lose money on it? I don't know if I want to invest in myself because what if I lose? And it took me the longest time, you guys, to actually invest in myself and my own business, because I saw that investment as a way of just losing money. If I was like, oh, I have to pay thousands of dollars to hire a business coach or whatever, I saw that money as just like going out the window, because I didn't believe in myself, because I had more evidence that I was likely to lose things, right? But when I started to fix my mindset, I saw investing in myself as actually a way of making more money. It was really funny. I'm like going to this weekend event in Las Vegas, run by a friend of mine, Alex Moscow. And I was telling my stepdad about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm really excited. I got the early bird ticket price. It's only $497. And for me, it's like, oh, wow, I'm spending $497, but I'm going to get all this value that's going to help me make more and more income. And my stepdad's response was like, well, I think you could learn how to do X, Y, Z, and you don't have to pay some guy $500 to learn how to do that. And I was like, that's possible, but how long would it take me? And how many more opportunities in that stretch of time would I have to make even more money so that I'm going to get that $500 back again and again and again before that time is up? And it's really funny. It's like when we start hacking these beliefs, we start looking around us at people like our friends and our parents, and we feel this distancing from them, right? Like there I am, like with my stepdad, and I feel bad for him, because it's like, I just look at his own beliefs around what he thinks is possible for himself, and the ways that he will like dig his heels in and argue with me, and I'm like, well, I'm not choosing that for myself, but that's another reason that we can so often stay in scarcity, is because we understand unconsciously that changing our beliefs around what is possible for us is going to be triggering and possibly cause a rift between us and the other people in our lives that we're close with. Maybe some people whom we even absorbed those beliefs in scarcity from as we were growing up, or as we were forming our friendships and our peer relationships, throughout growing up and also throughout adulthood. So that's another thing just to be conscious of, that can keep you in that scarcity mindset. And finally, the last tip that I'll give here for beating scarcity is simply to start backwards engineering, rather than saying, I'll just use this event as an example, right? I'll just say, like, let's say that I was like in a scarcity mindset and I was like, oh man, $500. I don't have $500 to be able to attend this event. I do, but like, let's just pretend, right? But for someone in a growth mindset, for someone in an abundance mindset, someone with the same exact resources and the same exact situation might say, oh man, I don't have $500 to go to this event. How could I make $500 by the time it happens so that I can get my ticket and I can go there? And they would start thinking of all the different ways that they could start making money, right? For some people, it's like, hey, I'm going to self-publish a book on Amazon. It's going to cost me nothing other than my time, and whatever revenue I get from my book sales, I'll market it to my network. I'll tell all my friends and family to buy it, recommend it to their friends and their family. And whoever buys my book, I'm going to get, the revenue from those sales, right? Someone else might say like, hey, I am really good at cleaning and organizing houses. I'm going to go on Craigslist and I'm going to offer my like organizational services out to people that maybe need their house cleaned on the weekend, want their garage organized or whatever. And here's what I'm going to charge that I feel is worth my time. Maybe I'll even give away a couple of free house cleaning organization packages or whatever to like three people I know who I believe can really make referrals for me, to people who will like be happy giving me reviews. I'll put up something on Facebook and be like, hey, look at these great before and after photos of, this person's house that I cleaned, and here's their testimonial about how happy they were with this service, so I can get more clients, right? So this is just the way that my brain is working, to say like, if I needed that $500 to invest in myself, rather than saying I can't afford that, I'm not going to be able to I can't afford to take that money out of my checking or my savings at this time because I need it for my daily expenses. I would look at what other resources I have. I would say, what skill sets do I have? What time do I have, so that I can take that and I can start using those things to start to generate more income. So that's the difference. You could have the exact same resources, but that's the difference between being in a scarcity mindset and being in an abundance mentality, or at least in a like, I like to call it like a genius hacker mentality. Like, whatever it is, I will figure out a way to figure out a solution to this problem, right? That's what it means to be solution oriented, is that rather than looking for all the excuses or all the reasons you can't do something, you start to look at all the ways that it might be possible for you to do something. How do I make this possible? How do I make this a reality? There's got to be a way from point A to point B. So how do I get that $500 in time? Here's all the ways that I'm going to think of to tackle that. So that's how you combat a scarcity mentality. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.